As we learned in previous lessons, dynamic modules, such as the type_rem module, can be configured by consumer modules by calling static methods and passing their options as arguments. For example, in our application we are calling the type_rem module for root method to specify database connection options for type_rem. In this code here, we've used the process_env object to extract the environment variables loaded by the config module we imported above. But what happens if we move the type_rem module for root lines inside our imports array so that it is above the config module for root call? Let's try it real quick, save our changes, and open up the terminal. Surprisingly, it doesn't work now. Our application is throwing an error because our process environment variables are being loaded after the type_rem module for root call happens. Thus, all these values, database host, database port, etc., will fall back to undefined. It is a best practice for our applications to always be deterministic. The module's import order should not matter at all. So how can we fix this and prevent it from happening in the future? Luckily for us, most Nest.js modules in the ecosystem expose additional static methods with the async suffix, which can help us solve this exact problem. In this particular case, type_rem module has a for_root async method which we can use to asynchronously load the configuration options. There are several different ways to deal with async configuration, but we will focus on the most common one, which is asynchronous factories. You can check out the other options in the official documentation. First, let's change the for_root method we are using on the type_rem module and use the for_root async method instead. Now, let's update the input argument and use the factory function. Our factory behaves like any other asynchronous provider we've learned about in the dependency injection related videos. It can be async and it's able to inject dependencies through the inject property. So in our example, we could even inject the config service and use it here instead of using process_env directly. And that's all the changes we needed to make. Let's save everything and open up our terminal again. Great! It looks like the application bootstraps successfully now. Our code works because the asynchronous configuration we added will be loaded after every module registered in the application is resolved. Thus, the imports order won't affect anything for our type_rem module anymore.